time comes, don't postpone it. When others down and out, you don't condone it. Truth be told, yourself is your toughest opponent. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. Never let go, stand tall and hold tight. Overcoming obstacles is the objective in life.
Hey, welcome everyone. I'm actually also recording this as a watch list video. So this is our daily chart review for the 25th of January. I am gonna start streaming my screen to the group. Okay. Can everyone see the GME chart? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
I hear you.
Okay.
I don't see a chart.
Okay, if you click on Trade Talk, you should be able to see my screen share.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay. So GME and other names are starting to pull back. BBBY as well should flush and break low a day and continue to sell off. Let's get into the charts that we were talking about and what happened here. So for the long, so I've got the 3-minute chart. Okay. So what we can see here is we had the GME in the morning establishing support here on the 88s 90 area. Okay. And Ace, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just I'm dropping Avi off to school, but I'm listening.
Okay, cool. So there'll be a recording, and I'll share this later, so you guys will be you'll be able to see that.
Cool.
We're missing some nice opportunity here, but that's fine. Okay, so the GME, you can see where it crossed over the watch list level at 95, and then it broke over the high a day at 160. And so as soon as I saw this, I knew a bunch of people would be getting short after this big gap up, right? And thinking, hey, okay, but as soon as it crossed VWAP and crosses high a day, these guys are going to need to cover. And so as soon as I saw that, I had to quickly figure out, how am I going to trade this? Okay. And so I looked at the 115 calls. You can see that on the right panel here. And so by the time it started going, it did this big shift right here. I would have wanted to get in down here, right, when it crossed over VWAP, but I was late. So what I had to do is estimate, and actually I think a 1-minute chart was, I think I had that on my trading platform was 1 minute. No, they were 5-minute bars. That's interesting that it looks so different. So anyways, what I was doing here is that when it pushed up into this, I feel like this is just off on the timing. All right, it's kind of bothering me. Let's use the 1 minute. Maybe that'll be I think that's what was more representative. Okay, so we had this push right here. And I basically kind of did, and kind of saying, hey, I don't want to go all the way down to 25 if I'm getting in at 31. And so I just kind of made an estimate that when it broke that high a day, that, it's roughly right here, right? That high a day was $25. And so I think I was just splitting the difference. but you know, better what I might have been 25 or using this 25, 26 right here. And so I just eyeballed it real quick and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to risk 4 points, but this should have really strong momentum and keep going. And so I grabbed some long at the 31 top. And then when it dipped here, that's where I added. So I thought I saw 28 right here. I just did a market order to add to my position. And then that came up, shot right back up over here. This is where I took a little bit off. Well, so let me phrase that. Here's what I did. When I first got in, it jumped into 36 immediately. So I immediately sold half, right? Because I got 5 points like in like 2 minutes. And I knew I was chasing, so there should be a yank. So we got the yank, and this is where I could add the size, and I had some profit locked in, so I can keep a tight stop down at 25. So then add, and then let this run. And then remember I said my targets were 39, and so I sold a little bit here, and then 50, sold some here, and then when I saw it consolidating, I added, and then boom, sold into this 70, 75. And so but yeah, so that kind of worked out pretty nice. And so that was just it. I mean, that was just basically the process. You know, added here, got this big push quickly, right? 15 points in like 3 minutes. You get gains like that, you always sell. Okay, you don't have to even think about it. You don't ask. You don't wait for someone to tell you to sell. You sell. So hopefully that explains the GME trade. The market's gonna yank a bit and after lunch, so we kind of expected that. um the okay, so that's GME. Let's now take a look at Intel. Sorry guys, just had to make a quick couple grand. Just saying support on BBVY break, and so just grabbed a few thousand shares and shorted it and covered. Anyways, the Intel. So if you take a look at this, this is the ER. Okay. Hit a big volume spike and failed. And then this is where after hours I said, hey, if it breaks 50-50, I mean 60-50, go short. And for why it should work is it's basically earnings failure. They said there's still a bunch of headwinds. And if you look here, there was a big gap up from the previous week. Okay. There's a big gap up from $52. And let me bring that up in this chart here so you guys can see it. Window. We had a big gap up right here. And this was on the new CEO coming in. This spike is on the earnings, just a blow-off top. It then fails. They still have a bunch of issues, which is not surprising. And now this is why I'm targeting the $53, is because that's kind of where the breakout was. In reality, it could come down to 50. Right? There's just a lot of headwinds. And so why it worked and the trade setup is you have a big gap to fill. You have bad ER. So now this is just basically a trend join trade. Very, very simple. And let's see. Let me go back to the 3-minute. And let me bring up the and then we took the 55 puts, I believe, right? Sorry, my I don't know why Thinkorswim is like responding slow. But okay, so this is our area for the morning. So we saw this 50, right? So the morning action right here, 9:45, first 15 minutes are over, holding VWAP, and this is where we got long. Nice, easy, setting the risk. I was kind of, hey, if we popped, we'll be able to add more. But we gone in 55. And then we just wrote it, right? Target's 53. So the action is basically, it's right here, rejected 56.50 in pre-market. We saw that it was failing. It broke right here, 9:45, broke low a day. I think it was 9:45 or right after 9:45. And then we're like, hey, we're just going to take the 55 calls because if the target is 53, it's going to get to $2. And we're getting in at 50 cents. So great risk reward. Okay. So that's why Intel worked. Big gap up, reversal candle on an ER, and there's a lot of negative news still. So then we want to just join the trend. And basically a really simple trade. You can see, and then we're getting in here 50 cents. We're getting in right at 56 roughly, 50 cents of risk. You want it, we have at least a 2-to-1 to the next support, right? Because there's $1, that's 2x on the 50 cents. And if the target is 53, then that's almost that's 6x risk reward. 6 or 8x, I'm sorry. 53, something like that. But basically it's a great risk reward. And that's the Intel trade. All right, so that's the two. Let's actually do SPY as well, since we're here. Okay, so SPY. The way it's been trading is that on Mondays lately, it pushes for the first hour, right? Then we get this candle, and it fails, broke VWAP, broke the 383.50, and then this is where I said, hey, puts. And then you saw slam, right? And my targeting was 379.50, 377 to 379.50. Look at this, went right to 379.50. Right. I don't know if I think I didn't even have I didn't put the levels in down further because I wasn't actually I remembered these levels and I didn't actually plot them on the levels in the watch list. So sorry about that, guys. But the thinking there is again push first hour, break VWAP, break low a day, flush. And that's part of just what it's been doing every Monday after a big run and after a big gap up. So being aware of those behaviors is, really helps us out. Okay, so that's it for the watch list review. Does before I sign off on that, does anyone have any questions? Was this helpful? Should we do more of this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. That's it. So thank you guys.